Hi, everyone. My name is Colin Goldberg, and I am zooming in from Vermont, USA. And we're here at the 88th Techspressionist Salon. And the theme of this salon is education. And we have a special guest moderator here, Malavika Mandal Andrew, who is here with us from India with a bunch of her students. And basically, the idea of this salon is the students that she's been working with have created collaborative artworks by passing digital file back and forth together. And that's something that originated from an activity in this Techspressionist community that was spearheaded by an artist named Devonte Bradley, aka Davo. And we did a couple collaborative exhibitions using that format. And it's very exciting that Malavika has taken that idea and brought it to India. And she actually is the first Techspressionist artist listed in the Artist Index from India, and also a co-founder of the Indian node, along with Gopa Kumar.
Michael?
So,
Michael?
uh,
Go on.
I'm not sure who's talking, but whoever is, can you mute?
Array is gone.
Malavika, can you mute yourself for a sec? I just hear you. Oh, I don't think she hears us. Anyway,
God, this is too much. The moment recording started. Yeah.
well, comic relief here. So Malavika is an artist whose practice includes mixed media, digital collage and digital art, tapestry, and other fiber art. She received her MFA and BFA from a university in India. I'll let her pronounce it. And at that university, she was awarded the National Scholarship by the government of India, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, and she did her training under Riten Mozumdar. In 2012, Malavika was awarded the Pollock Krasner Grant, which is also a grant that I received, so that's something we have in common. And she received a senior fellowship from the CCRT Ministry of Culture, Government of India. And she founded this organization, Collaborative Art Space, in August of 2021. And it is an international art organization that conducts collaborative art projects. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the microphone off to Malavika, and she's going to talk a little bit more about this project and then move into introducing the work of the students. So Malavika, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Colin. Am I audible?
Yep, I
Okay.
can hear you.
Thank you, Colin, for the introduction. A warm welcome to all of you in our 88th Techspressionist Salon. Techspressionist Salon is the platform from where the idea of collaborative art space thought developed. One of the intellectual virtual platform where we interact, plan, meet all different artists from all over the world, discuss about expressionism, art, and events. The idea of collaborative art space was born out of collaboration with artist Davante Bradley's curated show titled Techspressionist Collab 2. Collaborative art space started in July 2021 when the second wave of the pandemic came to its end. But people were still not comfortable to go out. This gave the idea that while our physical body remains static, confined in the four walls of our home, our art has the ability to travel across the globe, reach places and corners that seems impossible. What is collaborative art space? Collaborative art space uses collaboration as a tool to foster artistic growth and creativity by organizing international art projects, connecting artists to create collaborative artworks in various medium. Interaction, experiment, thinking, managing, suspense, challenge are the key words of collaborative art space. Collaborative art space projects are about creating something new beyond imagination. The project gives participants to experience the joy of creating together, caring, sharing, and learning. This helps in understanding each other's capability and makes the path to a new idea. The projects are about give and take, adjustment, discussing, and creating the best. Collaborative art space doesn't believe in age and gender-wise group. We believe purely in creativity. It conducts over 5 different collaborative events spread throughout the year, along with virtual exhibition and art catalogs. Number one event, Community Art Project. Timing January to March every year. Individual ages 14 and above, living, studying, or working in a community, a building, society, or a locality, or in institution like school, college, companies, or organization, collaborate with each others to create an environmentally friendly art piece that must be at least 50% made out of waste material. Winning entries are chosen via judges considering an online voting and all artworks exhibited online. Second event, Interschool Techspressionist Digital Collaborative Project. Timing April to September every year. Interschool Techspressionist Digital Art Collaboration is a project where two artists between ages 14 to 18 years from different school and colleges work together to create artworks on chosen theme. There are two different work batches. One is April, May, and another one is July, August. Artists can choose the batch suits their comfort. The exhibition for both created during both the batches, are displayed together. The project ends with virtual exhibition and walkthrough or a presentation along with exhibition catalog. Today, this batch only going to present their artwork. Third, Jugalbandi or conference, timing May to September every year. An artist and artisan or a craftsman like folk singer, dancer, folk musician collaborate together to create wonderful works of art. It's an open team of two consisting of one artist and artisan above the age of 15, currently living or working in India. The focus of the project is promoting traditional and folk art of India in all shapes and forms. Fourth project is International Collaborative Art Biennale, timing July to August every 2 years. Selected artists 18 years and above work in trios, create 3 collaborative and 1 individual artwork in mixed media or digital art on their chosen theme. Biennale ends with physical and virtual exhibition and walkthrough. The last project, Emotion, which timing is October to December every year, it invites artists of 15 years and above from India to collaborate artwork exploring emotion. The artist can work with anyone close to them, including friends, family, classmate, grandparents, or teacher. They can blend different art forms like painting with music, dance with poetry, and any combination you can think of. Winning entries are chosen through online voting and all artworks are exhibited online. The details of all the above mentioned, what I explained, are available on our website, collaborativeartspace.com. Let me come to today's presentation. Today, Collaborative Art Space presents the 4th edition of our Interschool Techspressionist Collaborative Art Project created by our young artist. Techspressionism, coined in 2011 by artist Colin Goldberg. It means an artistic approach in which technology is utilized as a mean to express emotional experience. It's a 21st century artistic and social movement exploring the intersection of technology and expressionism. In Interschool Techspressionist Collaborative Project, 2 young artists from different institutions have worked together to create 2 collaborative and 1 individual artwork on the theme of dreams. let me start the presentation. Our first group who are presenting today is Kedar Shah and Vivansh Khosla. Kedar Shah, you are there?
Hello.
Yeah, wait.
Yes.
Is share screen is visible to everyone?
Yep.
Yes. So, hello everyone. I'm Kedar Shah from Zyder School for Excellence, Godavi, Ahmedabad. It's such a pleasure and privilege to be with you all here today. Me and my friend Divan from Calcutta International School, Kolkata, have done artwork on the theme of the phenomenal sector of space. Can you please swipe to the next image? In the first artwork, there is a person on swing, which is supported by moon, and the shadow of the swing is seen on the waters of the earth. Usually, someone on a swing on earth sees the moon from down below, but with the giant leaps in the space technology, it's fair to dream that a person on a swing on moon sees the shadow from above in the waters of the earth. So when human race will go for space tourism to moon, they will not only be exploring the moon, but also getting entertained in an adventurous way. So the upper part with the moon is done by me, and the lower part depicting the oceans of the earth and the person attached to the moon is done by my friend Divan. Can we have the second artwork?
This is the first stage, this is the second stage. Am I right?
Yes. So this was artwork done by me. It's fully done by me. So when we had the idea of space tourism, I wanted that an astronaut from India will be going to the space on a mission and will be standing or jumping from the space to Burj Khalifa. So this was one of the very initial dreams I had of this competition. So it went this way around. Yes. So the second artwork shows the infinite possibilities on a voyage of universe as a part of space mission. We have dreamt of two friends, one from India and another from Western country, who have traveled on a celestial body nearby. Can I have the second one? They are musicians by profession. They are space tourists, and messengers of planet Earth. They want to spread the message of harmony and peace to the aliens there. The bottom one is a musician from India and is playing dole. As dole is visible on his face, I have done a small miniature of the word dole on the face of the bottom artist. A classical Indian drum, which is releasing Indian tunes, Indian ragas, and the way Indian people celebrate music. The another one is the musician from Western country and is playing imperial concert piano. He is playing the piano to a suitable note to match it with that of the Indian friend. And together they are making a fusion music which is pleasing to the celestial friends up there. Together they are projecting the culture of Mother Earth. In turn, they are also entertaining themselves in the vast expanse of the universe, where someone may feel lonely otherwise. All this might also become a reality in near future as countries are planning to send humans to universe in upcoming years in different forms and on different missions. We have used Adobe Fresco as the tool of making both of the artworks. Digital artwork is quite fun because whenever a mistake is been made, you can just erase it or redo it with a touch of button. But it's not possible on doing it with on the paper. We have used chisel eraser, pixel brushes, live brushes, and water brushes as for making them. We also tried to add as many as elements as we could to make the appearance of the artwork look more realistic as possible. We sincerely thank the judges for selecting us and also for the platform to speak today. Thank you so much.
So this artwork is started by Vihan and ended by Kedar. And this is Vihan's individual artwork. He's not there today. See, this is Steri C. Vihan Khosla is from Calcutta International School, Kolkata. Thank you, Kedar, for the beautiful presentation.
Thank you.
Anyone asked to ask anything?
Yes, I had a question. I wasn't quite, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you. For the pieces, I couldn't quite understand if the pieces were created with digital tools, or were you working on paper? I know you spoke about paper versus how you can undo things in
Yes.
digital. And I just was curious.
So could you please go to the last one? Yeah, so the elements I have created, which are been released out of the instrument. So what I did was that I used live brushes to cover it up, and then by reducing the size of the eraser as necessary to do, I've done that elements by just chiseling out the things from the color. So it's not white color; it's erased out of the color.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
I believe you said you used Adobe Fresco. Was that the software?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Thanks for clarifying, Colin. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I just have a comment about it. When you said we're showing the artwork is conveying the culture of Earth, to people off the Earth or whatever. It just made me think of how this particular salon is really bringing in people from at least 3 or 4 different countries from all over the world, and at this particular moment in history, right after our election, I think it just struck me that we're on one planet, and
Yes.
it's nice for us all to get together to look at art, to share our work, and everything else like that. So yeah, that's just a little observation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I particularly enjoy the piece with the musicians. I'm enjoying the fact that the music that is emanating from the person playing the Indian drum or whatever it is, I think it looks like a drum, is sending out peace symbols and trying to show harmony. And I think that that's quite important for all of us to see today, particularly as Colin said, there's a connection of people, different countries within the piece, if I understand what you said earlier. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
So now I'm going to the next group. The next group who are presenting today is Anayas Chaturvedi and Dhruv Garg.
Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Right. Firstly, a big thank you to the organizers. Digital artwork is something very new to me. It's something I've recently taken an interest in. And expressionism, I've never heard of it until only a few months ago. And it seems so fresh, and I'm loving it. Secondly, Malvika ma'am, because Colin sir, because of this collaborative art project, I got to meet someone wonderful, someone talented. Dhruv, he's here with us right now, and he'll be talking about his process too. So please allow me to start. This was our collaborative artwork that I started. It's called Journey Through the Unseen. Now, this was a blank canvas, and when I wanted to fill that canvas, I had no idea what to go ahead with. The theme was dream. So I decided to take inspiration from my own life. And at that point in time, we were having our summer vacations, and it was a time where I was reconnecting with nature. I was at ease. And I think that shows through the artwork because I have tried to use very soft colors here. And I wanted to show that peace while still keeping the mystery. And I wanted to keep it very open ended for Dhruv. So a major part of the canvas is empty. Dhruv, over to you, ma'am. Can we please have the next part?
Good evening, ma'am. So, in this, I just wanted, it's a very basic artwork. So, in this, it depicts a journey into the realms beyond which is not visible to a normal person. And this hidden world is in the mysterious nature. And the girl is a curious and explorer kind of girl who wants to explore the world. And she explored this world, which is very unseen and very unseen to the world.
And might I add something to that? When I sent this, half piece to Dhruv, I was not at all expecting it to turn out this way. So you can say it was quite literally a journey through the unseen for the artist herself. Ma'am, maybe please have the next one. This is my individual art piece. It's called Lucid Flight. Now, I wanted to really grasp the theme of dreams here. So, ever since I was a kid, I have been wanting to fly. And I don't care if I fly a plane or if I somehow magically grow wings, I just wanted to fly. And I wanted to show that through my art. So, here you can see it's very simple and easy to understand that there's a little girl who is looking at another girl who is flying a plane and she's dreaming of it. And the story behind actually naming this artwork, now I have an absolute love for psychology, and there's a type of dream called lucid dream where you can control what is happening in the dream. So I thought that it would be such a beautiful name because this is a type of thing that I can control. Like if I want to fly, I can fly someday. So I wanted to bring that control over it, and that's why I named it Lucid Flight. Over to you, Dhruv.
Yeah, so in this artwork, the scene is basically symbolizing a shared dream between the father and a son. Like it's a bonding between a father and a son, and they had a traumatic experience, traumatic past. So by doing stargazing or just seeing the stars, they both are little like this. It's a source of a comfort for them, and
Well, I think we lost the audio there.
Your
Okay.
mic is off, I think.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you move on then?
Okay, we could hear you now.
So, Anay, you want to say you have added this, am I right?
Yes, ma'am. I have added this. When Dhruv sent me his piece, I loved it absolutely. But I felt that it needed some more life to it, some more emotion to it. So I thought, what's the one thing that's missing? The mother is missing, of course. So I tried to weave a story through the artwork, and we can see a constellation in the sky, which is actually the face of the mother. And I have also added some little details like there's a northern light and there are some trees. There's also a telescope. So to add depth to the piece, to an already beautiful piece.
Wow. Dhruv, you will talk about this, your individual work? Are you
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Yeah.
So the apps I used for crafting this artwork was Photoshop and Blender. So like in this artwork, I just wanted to depict a dreamer who is bound with the limitations of the real world. Like in this artwork, you can see the chains, which like symbolizes the responsibilities, obligations that hold the dreamer back from of the real life, that hold the dreamer back from his exploring. And the setting is basically based on the unseen world, and like it's a realm of a dream and imagination.
Great. So Anaya is from Delhi Public School, Nagpur, who presented just now, and Dhruv is from Sarla Villa Academy, Bangalore. Right? Correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And questions for them?
How far apart geographically are the two schools?
The,
Uh,
please,
we are 2 states away. So around 700 to 800 kilometers.
Thank you. It's
Thank
very
you.
interesting. The work is beautiful, by the way, from both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I agree, and I'm fascinated with the concept of the chains holding back the dreamer. Very powerful image.
yes, same here, I felt. Thank you, both of you. Let me go to the
Thank
next
you, ma'am.
presentation.
Oh,
Thank
I
you,
just
ma'am.
wanted to note that there are a lot of comments in the chat. Lots of comments.
Yes.
I actually have one other question. The first piece that had the girl sort of standing on that field of pink, the color, solid color, was that painted digitally, like the figure?
Yes, sir. It was entirely digital virtual.
Really nice.
Thank you.
And are we meant to see this girl here, but then the girl in the second image as two separate pieces? Or are you showing us the building of the final piece?
No, ma'am. Those are two completely different pieces.
Thank you. They're both wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to say one more thing. We've touched on it in the comments, but what I think some of us are particularly enjoying is not just the color and the technique, but the stories. Every artist, every artwork has a story, and you can really feel the stories, and they're complex. It's nice.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
I just want to comment that it's really interesting from a point of view of iconography that there are universals that are beginning to show up, and that gives me hope.
So our next group who is presenting is Adrita Purkait and Aisha Malu. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, good evening, everybody. So I'm Ajita Purkait from future campus school in Shonarpur. This is my drawing of dreams. So I collaborated this with my partner Aisha Malu. I don't think she is present with us, so I am just going to say. Um, Here, we can see that this girl is painting something in a blurry image. My thought was that this girl is in a blurry world, in a blurry future. She's painting her own future. She's drawing her own path towards the future. She's having that thought of herself, like one day in future she can have something that she wants, something that she needs. That is like she's depicting that, she's thinking that, she's dreaming of that. This is what this drawing actually means in just few words. Here, she's dreaming of a family that she might have someday, a nice job. She might have someone to love. This is just something some everybody dreams of since their childhood, that one day when they grow up, what can they do in this blurry world, in this future, in this blurry future, what can they do, what can they do to draw the path through which this clears the future. Mm, this was it. And this is the individual drawing that I have drawn. This states a dancing girl. Here, the girl is sewing a cloth. This cloth is the pathway of her dream. It's like she is just sewing her future together, piece by piece, to create something that she really desires. This-
This is Aisha Malu from Modern International School, Calcutta, her work. This is the first stage. Title is Chasing My Dreams. And after that, can you speak about this, Adrita?
Yes, so her concept was that when we go to a grand hotel like the ITC hotel or some grand hotel, we ourselves feel that feel like the queens or feel like goddesses there, like we get the treatment and all. She, through these pictures, tried to depict that only. Here, the spotlight falls on the girl, that she is entering into this grand hotel. She's feeling like her own boss. She's feeling like her own queen, you know.
Great. This is Aisha's individual work. We are finally safe. She's not present today. She's not well. Any question for Adrita? Thank you, Adrita, for the beautiful presentation.
I had a question.
Please.
I noticed that, thank you so much. I noticed that some of the images, that the woman, she's looking out with her hands, but maybe it was the first image where she's standing on what looks like it could be a mountain or a wave. Yeah, is that? Yeah, no, the last one where the blue dress where her
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, it also looks, I don't know, it reminds me of was that famous Japanese, The Wave, or it looks like, is that supposed to be geographical as well as dreamlike, her dress, or am I making more than is
No,
there?
it was actually intended to be like that. You see, this dress, it is actually depicting her future. It is supposed to be like this, like a wave, say a flashy waves, like mountains. It is
Yeah,
supposed to be like unclear, certain kind of thing. You know, it's
nice.
like something that is uncertain, but still is something that you can build up from your own hand. With your own hand, your actions will build up this future. It's something like that.
Yeah, that's nice. And I noticed on the other one where she's in the Grand Hotel that again, from her waist, it goes out. Like it's kind of an unusual image to see. Like again, the red, how it goes out. And I wonder if that has anything to do with Indian clothing or your concept, or it's kind of unusual and intriguing.
Yeah,
Ross, actually, sorry, Ross, actually, this was the first stage the artwork is given to by Alicia to her,
Oh,
Adrita. So she has her style, you can make out when she added that same, what you want to express, that mountain
yeah.
sort of, that expression is here also involved.
Yeah, I thought that was curious as a form to see it twice coming from India. I just wondered if it's just serendipitous or is there something that it means, underneath it. I don't know.
It's funny, I had the same reaction to it being a mountain as well in the first one. I thought of Mount Fuji and Cinderella dancing over Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
I was seeing it as a road or a path or a journey to where she plans to go. And I really like what appears to be a thread in her hand, that somehow she's responsible for bringing this to fruition.
Thank you for your all comments. Yes, Adita, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I just wanted to say that this dress is just like something that is uncertain. It's something that what we'll see, something that what one individual thinks. It's not like a particular dress or a particular way. It's something that what we can make out of it. Something uncertain. You know, that
Great.
what is meant in this picture.
Thank you, Adrita, and thank you for helping in explaining the Aisha's work also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, the next group who are presenting is Rian Bari and Anaya Shah. This is Rian Bari's work, Floating with Stars.
I don't think he's present here today.
Yeah,
So,
you can add from where you started.
Yeah, sure. So this is his collaborative piece. He started this. It's a very simple yet unique piece, I feel. So if you go on to the next slide, yeah. So I added my own unique touch. I added like a sky full of galaxies, clouds, grassy fields, and I added a cute little dog because why not? And I feel it really brought out the pace, and I liked how it turned out in the end. So the next slide is this is his individual piece on the topic of dreams. And then I feel now my individual piece, the next slide. Yeah, so this is my individual piece. So in this piece, there's like a girl wearing a white dress with paint splatters all across. On her neck, if you see, there's a stethoscope which turns into a palette. It depicts her wishes to be a doctor while also being really artistic at the same time. Her wings and the birds that are flying high in the sky depict freedom. We are really free in our own dreams. We can, weave our own dreams and do what we want. The blooming sunflowers depict the nature of our dreams, how bright they can be. The eye depicts vision and the hope of our dreams, how we can dream of any thing we want, and our imagination has no bounds. The next slide. Yeah. So this is my collaborative piece. I started out with the theme of galaxy and magic. The next slide is the slide I sent to my group mate. The next slide. Yeah. So this is the piece I sent to him, and this is what he did. So the piece I started out with, it consists of many stars, planets, galaxies, and like there's a face fading away. It shows the mystical, and magical realm, and how imaginative our dreams are. He added a few plants, which I feel is his own unique style of doing art. Adding plants is his own unique touch to pieces. So it's a simple, yet it's a nice touch, I feel, to my piece. So these were the pieces I made. And thank you so much for this opportunity. And if you all have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yes, any questions for her?
Hey, it's Joey Zaza here. I'm wondering if there was, I also really like that first image, the floral with the sky scene is really nice. Was there kind of instruction for making this based on dreams? I feel like dreams are kind of a common theme throughout a lot of this work.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
the
topic
theme
he had
topic given
was
to
dream.
us. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, thanks. And then I also wonder if anyone has any of the work available as like NFTs. If so, just put the links into the chat. Thanks.
I'll inform them. They are all students, so I don't think here it is available, but we can always work out for that.
Okay.
I wanted to make a comment about the last piece, where the flower pots were cut up and scattered around. And I guess we said, yeah, this seems really effective. We didn't see this in other pieces. We kind of saw some repositioning, but it seemed to be more layered. And I love this idea of cutting it up and flying them around. So
Yeah, I feel like it's my friend's, unique touch. He likes adding plants everywhere. He loves plants, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. Because in his individual and the early work, if you see everywhere, this is Rian's work, adapting wherever and everywhere. So anywhere, everywhere. So everywhere he have used the plants. So he is in love with the plants. Very true, Anaya.
Yeah.
but it's not just the plant imagery, it's that I'm not sure where the plants came from. Did they come from this image and then they got cut out and are flying around? Yeah. So I find that really compelling, to be so playful with the image. So that was a really great move, maybe a little brave to do, but it paid off.
Yeah. So what basically we have done for this particular group, I mean 14 to 18 years group, we are not very strict with the use of the tools, in the sense we have told that because they are learning, so we have told that you can create some part in the by hand and taking the photograph, scanning it, then you're applying all the different tools what is available on you, I mean whichever is comfortable to you. So that's how they develop their work. Some have done totally on digital and some have done mix match, which is allowed for the I mean in our rules we have said okay for that. Any more question for Anaya? Thank you, dear, for
Thank
the
you very
beautiful.
much. Yeah.
So we end up our students' presentation here. Thank you everyone for asking the questions. They really feel interesting and appreciating.
Thanks so much, Malavika. I also had the thought while these presentations were going on that just the students' ability to articulate what the work is about in English is really remarkable. It made me think about how I'm not fluent in any other language, and I mean, most American high school students study another language, but I don't think ever get to the point where they can really speak in such a way that it just sounds like, their native language. And, I think initially I just sort of took that for granted. Oh, they're explaining their work and everything, but just the fact that it's basically, in another language that isn't their language that they probably, learned initially, it's pretty amazing. So, and, I wanted to thank you for organizing this exhibition and project, especially, bringing students into the mix. I think it's really refreshing to see the work done by students where there's really no other, kind of agenda when the work is made. It's really just pure creativity, I think, in terms of, it's just kind of different, and just showing how, this idea, Techspressionism, has touched people, in India. I think it's pretty great. So I definitely want to thank you. And, if I don't know if anyone in the Zoom has any general questions, comments, either for Malavika or anyone else, just jump on in, Cynthia.
Yes, I very much enjoyed the presentations. I had a question for any and all of them. What were the challenges of collaborating on a piece together, or pieces? I know artists tend to want to express themselves, and then when you're working with someone else, how do you come together and find a piece that you both enjoy? So I was wondering about those challenges, if you could speak to that.
Anyone of you wants to say any challenges you have faced? Yes, Anaya. You want to say, Anaya?
Yeah, so during making my piece, I feel one challenge was that we both artists, we have our own unique styles, and we have different ways of expressing our art. So like collaborating on it and making one piece together was probably the biggest challenge. Other than that, because of technology, making pieces together was pretty easy and it was a smooth process.
Malavika, getting back to the English language, and thank you so much. This is so wonderful to hear everything you're doing. Seems like it's all year long. You've got projects going on. It's fantastic.
But it is all because of the salon. You got the idea itself from here, and the way you people, inspire in talking and different ideas sharing, that's making a lot of difference in developing this.
Oh, that's great to hear. I just also wanted to clarify, I believe that English, isn't English now the lingua franca only because of British colonization? Is that true? Does everybody speak English, or is that not true? Even though it is impressive. I mean, they speak better English than we do here in America.
No. It is a compulsory subject in all the schools, so almost everyone knows about it.
Yeah, and that's from Britain being, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But thank you. It was terrific, really.
Thank you. Colleen, shall we go ahead with the other presentations?
Sure. I know Sahar had asked me, if there'd be time for any of the other artists to present, and it looks like we have about a half an hour left. So she could start us off, and then if there's anyone else that wants to share some of their work, the only thing that I ask ideally is that it somehow is related to this idea or topic of education in some way. It could be work that you did as a student, or work that you've done with students, or even work that was created as a result of an influence that was from a teacher or something like that. Just some way to weave it in. I did also want to remark that, so this idea of taking a digital file and passing it back and forth to create a collaboration, it was something that Devonte Bradley came up with, and his inspiration for that was the collaboration between Andy Warhol and Jean-Michel Basquiat, in which they made very large paintings together, and took turns working on the canvases. So it's really interesting to see how this idea evolved, where it came from in terms of the roots of the idea and where it's at today. So just kind of very cool to see the flow, and certainly I encourage anybody on this Zoom and watching it on YouTube to go to the Techspressionism website, and under exhibitions there's Collab 1 and Collab 2, and those shows have work by many of the artists here in this Zoom that were passed back and forth. So those were the original collaborative exhibitions that came out of the Techspressionist community, and they actually are there's something that can be experienced in VR through a platform called Kunstmatrix. So they're really interesting exhibitions. At any rate, I'm going to open it up to Sahar, and yeah, feel free to share your work with us, and thank you. If you could tell us where you're zooming in from also, that'd be great.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you, Malavika, for the great presentation. I'm Sahar Musavi. I'm zooming from Iran, and I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am okay. My presentation is about jewelry design with AI. I was sponsored by a jewelry academy to conduct a 3-day online workshop on applying AI to jewelry design. So I first, and different people enrolled in my workshop, including jewelry design students, shop owners, and traditional jewelers. So first I defined AI and explained how it works. This blend of art and science could lead to the next wave of innovation in jewelry design. With my background in industrial design and product design, and also jewelry design like a decade ago, I introduced them to several AI tools useful for jewelry design, such as Viscom, Leonardo, AI, and Bing Image Creator. And the last one, because they were able to write prompts in Farsi, because we have to consider language barrier in AI tools. So Viscom is a powerful AI-driven tool tailored for designers and artists, transforming the way they visualize and conceptualize their ideas. It allows users to convert sketches, concepts, or rough visuals into high-quality, realistic renderings with a focus on speed, creativity, and detail. This can be particularly valuable for fields like jewelry design, product design, automotive design, and more. So I'm just going to speak about Viscom because for time saving, and I just chose Viscom. So I describe Viscom for the students, and this is how it looks. This is the interface of Viscom, home files, and how can they import, and the settings. I describe everything to them, and some of them didn't have any background in design or art or anything else, like the shop owner. So here I explain to them how they can import their sketches, and I have to say that actually Viscom works with hand drawing sketches that students can import their files, or there is real-time tools for sketching in the program. So and then they can render it later. This is how it looks when you import a file, a hand drawing file. So I ask them to scan or take a photo of their hand drawings or any linear drawings they have and import it in Viscom. We can see the right, and I describe them the right side panel, rendering, defining, and how they can use the palettes and reference images. And there's a small prompt box because in Viscom, Viscom can render without prompt. And at the left, I show them the layers like other softwares that it's layered, and on top there are other tools for drawing like eraser, pencil, and drawing tools. And the newest feature is that actually after you render the 2D file, you can export it as a 3D file. So I chose one of my students' artworks, Sara Yousefi Far. She's actually a classic jewelry designer who uses, watercolor, pencil, and classic tools for designing. So at right, this is her first render. She imported one of her actually very simple pencil drawing into Viscom and rendered, and you can see the result at the left. We are going to see Sarah's artwork again. So another artwork was by Sara Yousefi Far. At right, you can see the simple pencil drawing and the final result in 3D render. And she kindly just made this for me. On top, it's her drawing, and a render in the middle without any prompt, and her final render with prompts at the bottom. A very clean watercolor drawing at the left by Sara again, and a very nice render from Viscom at the right. This is very useful for students who just started jewelry design and they don't know Matrix, Rhino, or other engines to 3D model their artworks. A bracelet by Sara, again, on the top, very clean watercolor painting. And she just imported the file into Viscom. And we can see the final render at the bottom. Another linear necklace and a very nice render at the left by Viscom. And the last one is very fascinating. I liked it. It's a drawing of, she used mythical creatures from ancient Persia. And she first added pencil hand drawing, and then watercolor drawing and painting, and then she rendered it in Viscom that you can see at the bottom. That's the final result of the render. Thank you so much. That was my presentation. Should I stop sharing, Colin?
Yeah, you could stop sharing. Thank you so much, Sahar. That was really great presentation. Those tools are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never seen something that could take, something like a hand done line drawing and translate it into 3D like that. Is that software something that runs online, or is it run locally on your computer?
It's online.
Gotcha.
I can put it in the chat.
Great. And those watercolors were just unbelievable. I mean, some of those I actually preferred the watercolor drawings, the watercolor paintings to the AI version.
Yeah.
I was wondering, is it also rendering out 3D models?
No, but if you render like what you did, you can export it as an OBJ file or GLB.
Okay.
That's dangerous for us.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you're saying the 3D piece is moving to another, you move to another piece of software to create that? And that when you put the line drawing in, maybe the second item that we saw in the list of 3 is what the AI does. And then from there, you take it to another piece of software to create 3D.
No, it just you just click the 3D model and it generates a 3D model out of the final render.
Amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. And then that could be taken and actually 3D printed. So you could go to
Yes.
from a line drawing, a hand pencil drawing right to a product prototype. That's really incredible.
Exactly.
Are a lot of jewelry designers actually using these tools to make products?
Usually they use Matrix, Rhino, and Rhino. That's they use it and then they just 3D print it with Rhino or Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Matrix is especially, I think, for jewelry design. But beside the renders, they can get new ideas from AI using Leonardo and Bing that I didn't actually present it. But I just wanted to present Viscom because it's like unknown for most of people because like Leonardo and Midjourney are very famous, but Viscom is especially for product designers. So I wanted just to talk about Viscom.
Is that very expensive in terms of like, you'd pay a monthly fee to use it, or?
Actually, I'm using the free plan and I can have 1 render per generate, but if you use the paid plan, it's 4 renders per generate.
Yeah, because I imagine that, I mean, all the tools that I personally use for my art are commercial design tools myself, like Illustrator. So I could imagine that artists could really exploit these tools and, take abstract hand drawings or whatever they want and then turn them into 3D models. I mean,
actually, my background is it was a watercolor painting from when I was a teenager, and then I just put it in Viscom and rendered it and give it some prompts in one of the co-working sessions. I showed it to other friends.
Awesome. Yeah, if you could put that link in the chat, that would be great.
Okay, sure.
To the platform. Awesome. So does anyone have any questions for Sahar?
I just here we go. Yes, I just want to say to Sahar, this is a missing link for me that I've been looking for about 3 months, and I can't wait to try it. Just wanted to say.
Awesome. Well, we do have about 15 minutes left. Usually we stop the recording at 1:30 or so. So I guess unless there's any other questions for Sahar, if anyone else would like to present, just jump on in. So it looks like Roz and Cynthia both want to share something. So Roz, you want to go first? Maybe go until, I don't know, 1:22 or something like that.
This is going to be very quick. I just want to share one drawing that was pivotal to me in art school. I went to the Lamar Dodds School of Art. That's in Georgia, in Athens, Georgia, B-52s, and a lot of great music coming out of there. And it's a really, really wonderful art school. And I just wanted to share a drawing I did and what impact a teacher can make on an artist. And thank you, Sahar and this whole presentation has been really awesome. So I just wanted to share my screen. And this, I'm just showing one drawing. Let me go to share. Desktop one. Okay, we're going back in time after all this innovative high-tech stuff we're doing. I'm kind of the old fogey of the group here. But can you see my image? It's a drawing of a woman.
Yep.
Okay, great. I thought I'd share that when I went to, this is done from, okay, I guess I'm revealing age, getting older and better in some ways. But this is 1973. It's my first drawing school. I was lucky to, I've always been able to draw because I got it from my grandparents. Seriously, I could draw since before I could talk, and I didn't talk for a long time, which is hard for all the people here to believe at this point. But when you find what you love, it does open you up. But I must say, I went into this drawing course at the Lamar School of Art at the University of Georgia, and we were drawing from the model. This isn't my first day in the class, but we were drawing seriously from the figure, the nude model. And this particular teacher had seen my earliest drawing when the first drawing I ever did. And he said, well, look at this artist. Like she can obviously draw, but he said, what is she saying? What is she saying? And just that, I just went, what am I saying? Like, look how I can draw. Look how I can make this figure look like a figure. And this particular piece, we were doing a figure drawing, and I stopped looking at the figure and I started looking across at this woman in our class who was drawing the figure. And I just loved her face. And I just went after that face. And that for me, I just wanted to share with you how in a matter of minutes, a life change can happen. Because I knew then when I went after this emotional thing of this woman, nothing could stop me. And I wasn't really obeying what we were supposed to be doing. But the teacher came by and said, keep going. And that was for me a real beginning of what I think, how I feel what art is all about. But it's all about so many things as we keep learning here. And that's all I wanted to share. But that was a big, huge educational experience for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Roz. It reminds me a lot of Kathy Kollwitz. I don't know if you look at a lot of her work, but that was things I thought of.
Oh, yeah. I like her work very much.
Yeah, that's great.
Roz, what is that work that you have in the background to kind of compare it to earlier work, and maybe is that something newer or what's going on there?
It's from my information painting series when I moved to New York City in the 80s, and I've told everyone here how my paintings started to fill up with pixels and squares. There's a famous downtown nightclub called the Pyramid Club, and all of my oil paint, this is an oil painting, and it's before I got into digital, all of my oil paintings started filling up with these layers and stories and squares and math. I mean, all this math in the air. So so that's what that piece is. It's from the information painting series. And I did lots of them. And then I finally just said, oh, I got to give up my brush. I mean, I got so tight. I went into 4 colors on an IBM, clunkiest drawings you could ever see. And I was thrilled to death because I knew I had to have that brush. So it can be torturous, some of these things that we have to do, but they get you going. But thanks for asking, Zoe. I'd really like to show these pieces again, along with digital, because it kind of tells the story for people and connects old to new. Thank you.
All right, Cynthia, do you want to share something?
Yeah, I'm trying to hide my captions on my other screen, but I think they're going to be there. So I actually wanted to share something. Oh, maybe this won't happen. You're not seeing the captions, are you? Okay.
The sidebar,
You're
but
seeing the sidebar. No, that's good. I had captions enabled earlier and now I can't close it quickly. So what I'm going to show is actually an assignment that I developed about 30 years ago. So this is really dated, but I'm still really proud of it. And since we're talking about education, and Adobe put this on their teaching materials, they didn't pay me anything, but they came and visited me and interviewed me. And I got feedback from all over the world from people who were doing it. So I'm just going to run through quickly and talk about this. I was teaching, and I'll talk as I go through the slides. I was teaching a cultural heritage class, and so I started it with the idea of American quilts. And what the students did is they scanned their coats, they scanned natural materials, and they put them into traditional quilt patterns that I gave them. But what was really interesting about it was a way to teach overlapping, to really encourage the students to modify the colors, and just to go, some of these are labeled different ways, and they just really went crazy with, I would say, make this one bigger, make this one smaller, really simple kinds of instructions while they were working. And you can see some people did drawing first and then developed patterns out of it. Most of them, I brought this into another course that I was teaching called Digital Nature. And so some of them started, many of these are from nature, photographs from nature as the course. I taught different courses, so, but I kept this assignment going through many years. So I just wanted to share this because I think that for people who are teaching, it was just an incredible thing to take this pattern. And I guess that's all I have on this one. Yeah. So I have another presentation that I did of patterns, but I think that kind of gives the idea. So I would encourage, if people are trying to think about traditional fabric patterns and having people scan, they would come in and I'd say, just scan your coats, scan whatever you have. And then later, as you can see, we went over the nature lab and somebody took a picture. I think this is actually a turtle that she took a picture of. So that was really cool. Okay, so that's
Awesome.
all.
Yeah, I just wanted to also ask you, so you actually had started the digital art program at University of Vermont, correct?
Yes, there was somebody teaching there before for 1 year. She actually applied for the full-time job, but I got it. And it was a very interesting experience because we taught in a regular computer lab that had no digital software. And they hired me, but they didn't budget for software. So that summer I went to one of the conferences. I went to both SIGGRAPH and the MAC thing, whatever it was called in those days. I can't remember. And the person was there from Electronic Arts, which at the time was making the best software. And I asked her about the software, and she said, well, I can't really give you any software. But then I said, are you here alone? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, do you want a lunch break? Would you want someone to demo for you? So I actually bartered demoing the software and giving her, demoing the software and then giving her breaks. And then I got software to teach with. So that was really a wonderful little exchange. And then I also used what was then NIH Image, that was free. And I actually liked the fact that in the beginning, the students had to go between two pieces of software, that they absolutely have to. And one of the reasons why I wanted to show this project, actually, the main reason, is that I always said in my teaching, I refuse to teach a class called Photoshop. It just, or whatever. I think that the whole idea of teaching software is really, just doesn't work. And doing the quilt project actually taught people everything they needed to know. They learned how to make, rectangles and rotate them and overlap and resize, and they could just get started with that and go from there. So I still believe that. I believe that software, little workshops in how to use the software, fine. But a whole semester in how to use the software, you just freeze people into thinking, oh, I can't find the right menu. What am I going to do? I'm going to fail the class, So yes, I did that in Vermont. I also was one of the first people at RISD, not the first person, but when I started teaching digital at RISD, Rhode Island School of Design, I was teaching in an all-purpose lab. We didn't have computer labs yet. And I also started, my first teaching was at Connecticut College, where I wrote the grant to get the computers, and I brought it into my 2D design class. Apparently, I thought I didn't do it till about 87, but Liz Lee, who is a digital artist who weirdly just retired, mentioned in her SIGGRAPH interview that I had her working digitally earlier than that. So I think 85 or something like that. And that was on electronics. That predated the Color Max.
Were you at RISD at the same time that Ann Spalter was there?
No, but Anne had moved to Brown to Andy Van Dam's lab at that point. So I saw her pretty regularly. And she actually arranged for me, pre-laptops, wherever you went, you had to make an arrangement to use a computer. And so I used the computers at Brown through Anne's connection, which was great. I have to say I missed that. I had the best 2 weeks of my life was when I found myself in Aix-en-Provence, in between conferences and things, and I called up the director of the art school, and they already knew me because had lived in Avignon, and I said, I need to use the computers for 2 weeks, and they're like, okay, and I was the only one there because it was between classes. They wouldn't have said okay, I think, if the classes had been going on.
Well, it's great. It's really, I think one thing that I really enjoy about this group is that there's people here who have been involved in the academic side of, art and technology for decades, and it really, it's become sort of like a place where a lot of real, pioneers are able to come share their experiences with us all. And, it's pretty great to see people from all different, age groups and levels of experience and everything else like that. So I appreciate you sharing and also giving us a little bit of that, the history of this sort of field. So yeah, thanks very much.
I just want to. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to comment to Cynthia and to everybody that the best learning starts when a student has an idea that they need to work out. The tools take care of themselves. And that was how I learned design. And I'm going to thank Lee Dussel, who was at Cranbrook Academy and was my design teacher, because he said, you start with a premise and everything else takes care of itself. And it's so true. If you learn Photoshop, that's all you know. But if you have an idea that Photoshop is the tool for, then you know Photoshop when you're done. And
exactly.
That's the only way to go.
Yeah, I'm really adamant about that. And I was fortunate to be able to fight the forces that wanted, at places. I just was able, some people are not always able to fight that. And I like to say I did all of the software teaching in group crits. I mean, so you'd bring it up and I'd say, oh, did you know you might be able to modify the colors doing this? And then the students were really paying attention because I would do it on their own work, which I wouldn't save, of course. They'd have to go back and do it themselves.
Yeah. Well, thanks again. Thanks so much, Cynthia. And, thanks a lot to Malavika, especially for organizing this salon and bringing students in from India. I think it's really special, and I appreciate all of you guys who came into the Zoom. We're coming into 1:30 now, so I'm going to stop the recording momentarily, but you're all welcome to come hang out at the after party. I actually have to drive about 2 hours to take my daughter to a dentist appointment immediately after stopping the recording. So I'm going to have to jump, but you guys are welcome to hang out and chat. I do know that the next salon, the next two salons, the subjects have been decided upon, so we don't need to come up with ideas for that. The December salon is going to be Renata Yanuszewska and Karen LaFleur introducing Mariniana, which is their exhibition at the Cape Cod Museum of Art. It's a two-person show that I believe is opening this month. and they're going to be down there, as far as I know, in December to give artist talks and stuff like that. So that show is actually also on the Techspressionism site. There's a microsite there under the exhibitions tab, so you could check out their trailer, which is amazing, and an online catalog. And then the January Salon, I believe, is going to be moderated by Cynthia Beth Rubin, I think, or maybe also with Cynthia DiDonato. I don't know, but it's going to be the co-working group. Cynthia, are we still on with that with you guys? Work from the co-working group?
I didn't know about that, but
I thought you had volunteered the last one that you're gonna.
but it's probably okay. And
Yeah, I'm game. I'm game.
yeah, it's probably good.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, like that could be a way that, the people who have been there as regulars could share some of the work and also introduce the co-working group to a wider audience, not only the people in the Zoom, but since these things are recorded, that might open it up to some people watching the salon on YouTube and get some new artists down in there. So, and I really appreciate what you two have done to organize that as an ongoing event. So, yeah, I mean, that's a couple months out, so we don't need to decide on it.
I think it's a great idea.
That's a great idea. If we can just get in here too, that people are invited to join our co-working on Tuesdays. It's the same time slot as this. It's a different Zoom link. So you have to go to the Techspressionist website to find that Zoom link, but the same time slot. And it's pretty informal. We get on, everybody says very quickly what they plan to do for the next hour. And then the idea is that you work. Although some people present work later, they organize. Some people use that time to organize. And then after an hour, people come in and show what they did. And it's become a really tight, open, but very friendly, tight group of people who are encouraging each other and getting to know each other's work. And there's a lot of trust. People show work that they're really unsure of. They'll show a series of 10 and say, hey, which way should I go? So I would encourage you to come. And if enough people want a different time slot, I think we're willing to help that get going, but we haven't heard any suggestions of other time slots and somebody who's willing to organize a different time. So.
All right, awesome. Well, the link is on techspressionism.com. Right on the homepage is a section, virtual co-working, that describes the format, and also there's a link to register for the Zoom. So I hope you guys who haven't been there will come check it out. So that's it from the recording part of it. And like I said, you guys are all welcome to hang out afterwards. So this will be posted on the Techspressionism site, I would say probably by the end of the week. Maybe not, that's tomorrow, but sometime very soon. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. And we will stop recording in 3, 2, 1, and cut.